Right. So today we're going deep on a day in the life video
Uh-huh.
to see like what we can learn about the reality behind someone's online persona.
Yeah.
So our mission is to kind of pull out these like key insights and maybe some surprisingly relatable moments from this person's personal documentary.
Yeah.
And basically offer you a fresh perspective on, just the universal things we all deal with every day.
I love that.
Forget the perfectly curated, online self.
Yeah.
This is the unfiltered stuff.
Right.
So this video walks us through like a pretty typical day.
Yeah.
And right away, we hit that contrast between intention and reality.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Like we see it right from the start.
Yeah, we're so used to those highlight reels, right?
Right.
So this is a cool chance to see what's going on behind the scenes of a regular day.
Yeah.
And what I find super fascinating is those little things that we all do, like those common threads that connect us.
Yeah.
It's not always about the extraordinary stuff. It's the ordinary stuff
Yeah.
and what we can glean from it.
Yeah. And the day starts with the plan to wake up at 6:30 a.m.
Okay.
But just like many of us, I'm sure,
Right,
the
yeah.
snooze button gets a good workout.
Uh-huh.
And they actually end up waking up closer to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So what does that little moment right at the beginning of the day,
Right.
what does that tell you?
Well, I think it kind of speaks to that gap
Yeah.
between what we want to do and then like our immediate impulses,
Uh-huh.
right? Like maybe it's a tiny bit of procrastination
Yeah.
or just the comfort of staying asleep a little longer.
Right.
And it makes you think about like your own intentions in the morning
Totally.
versus what actually happens.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And they have a pretty deliberate strategy to avoid scrolling on their phone first thing in the morning.
Okay.
They actually keep their phone far from their bed.
Interesting.
And it's like such a simple thing.
Right.
But it just shows that they're aware of that pull toward digital distractions.
Totally. Yeah.
Right when you wake up.
Makes sense.
Have you found yourself doing similar things to avoid that?
I think it's really about like a conscious effort
Yeah.
to be intentional about the start of the day
Uh-huh.
before like the demands of the digital world kind of like take over.
Right.
And it raises that question, like
Yeah.
what steps do you take or could you take
Uh-huh.
to set the tone for your day before you get swept up in, notifications and stuff?
Right. And speaking of setting the tone for the day,
Yeah.
when it comes to morning routines,
Okay.
the person in this video says it's not always like a strict ritual.
Okay.
Some days it's meditation, other days it's just looking at their plants,
Yeah.
which I thought was really refreshing.
Totally.
It doesn't have to be this picture perfect all or nothing thing.
No, not at all.
Right.
I think that flexibility is super important.
Yeah.
It's like that idea that self-care isn't some rigid prescription,
Right.
but like it's more about adapting to your own energy that day.
Yeah.
So I think the big takeaway for everyone listening is that
Mhm.
mindfulness and well-being, they can look a bunch of different ways.
Right.
It's not just this fixed routine you have to follow.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm curious,
Mhm.
what does flexibility look like for you?
Yeah, what does your routine look like? Or does it even exist?
Exactly.
Okay, so one constant they do have in the morning is this green smoothie.
Okay, a healthy start.
Yeah. Spinach, banana, almond butter, and oat milk.
Sounds delicious.
Pretty simple recipe,
Yeah.
but it seems non-negotiable. So what is that kind of consistency?
Right.
In your opinion, what does that mean?
Well, I'm thinking that daily ritual,
Yeah.
even if it's something small,
Mhm.
it's probably giving them a sense of grounding
Okay.
and just reliable nutrition to start their day.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's like this anchor
Okay.
amidst all the variability of life.
Yeah.
And, it makes you think about those little consistent habits that you have that give you that same stability.
Yeah, like that thing you always do no matter what.
Exactly. Interesting.
So are you a creature of habit?
Okay, so moving on to what they call midday madness.
Okay.
The workday kicks in around 9 a.m.
Sure.
And it's like a familiar mix for anyone who works remotely,
Oh, yeah.
emails, video editing,
Uh-huh.
and like that universal experience of staring at a blank screen when you're trying to create.
Oh, the worst.
So tell me about that blank screen moment.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's like this huge challenge when you're doing creative work.
Yeah.
It's all about inertia, like that feeling of not being able to start.
Right.
So it's really important to have some strategies,
Okay. Yeah.
like to break down tasks into smaller chunks or try free writing to get the ideas flowing.
Yeah.
Or even stepping away for a bit to refresh
Right.
before you try to tackle it again.
So you're saying like sometimes you just got to walk away.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What works for you? Yeah, I think I do all of those things when I get stuck.
Makes sense.
Okay. And then of course, they're working from home.
Right.
So there's the classic interruption,
What happened?
the cat walking across the keyboard.
Of course.
It's just this funny little reminder
It always happens.
of how blurry the lines can get
Totally.
between our personal and professional lives.
Yes, especially when your office is your house.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about you? Any unexpected guests during your workday?
Okay, so then there's this very relatable need
Okay.
for snacks every 2 hours
I feel that.
to avoid getting hangry.
Oh, absolutely.
And their snack choices are wonderfully honest.
Okay. I like it.
Almonds, dark chocolate,
Okay.
and sometimes Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh, wow.
So what does that confession tell you about maintaining healthy habits?
I think it highlights something super important.
What's that?
That sustainable habits often come from recognizing our cravings and finding a balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being perfect all the time.
Right.
It's a good reminder that you don't have to be so strict to be healthy.
Yeah.
And actually letting yourself indulge sometimes
Okay.
can make those healthy patterns last longer.
That makes sense.
How do you deal with those snack cravings throughout the day?
Okay. So next, they head out on what they're calling afternoon adventures.
All right.
It's that time around 2 p.m. where you just got to get out of the house.
Yeah, I feel that.
Errands like grocery shopping,
Mm-hmm.
walking the dog,
Yeah.
or working from a coffee shop for a change of scenery.
Right.
So what's the purpose of that mid-afternoon escape for you?
Especially when you work remotely,
Yeah.
it's so beneficial to change your environment.
Okay.
Like you get a break from the routine, you see new things.
Yeah.
Maybe you even get a little bit of social interaction,
True.
and all of that can help with that afternoon slump
Right.
and boost your focus.
Okay.
Do you find those changes of pace help you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of the coffee shop,
Yeah.
the barista Jake knows their usual order.
That's awesome.
Yeah, including a third latte.
Wow, that's dedication.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's like that little detail paints this picture of routine
Yeah.
and those little human connections that you make
Right.
in your local community.
Exactly.
Do you have those familiar faces in your daily routine?
Those tiny interactions,
Yeah.
those moments where someone recognizes you,
Yeah.
those can actually make you feel really good.
Yeah, totally.
They remind us of how much we all want to connect with each other
Right.
and how comfortable we feel when things are familiar.
For sure.
So tell me about your familiar faces.
Okay, so then they have the quintessential adulting moment,
Oh, what's that?
arguing with the bank's chatbot.
I hate those.
And I think anyone who's tried to resolve an issue through an automated customer service system
Oh, yeah,
can totally relate to that frustration.
absolutely.
Where does that resonate with you?
It shows how much we rely on those automated systems now.
And
They often just don't get it.
Right.
They can't really understand complicated problems.
Yeah.
It really highlights the need for actual human support.
Right.
So I bet you've been there too,
Oh, yeah. Many times.
fighting with the bots.
Okay, so now it's evening.
All right.
Time for dinner.
What are they having?
Avocado pesto pasta
Sounds good.
with a very important disclaimer.
Okay, what's the disclaimer?
It tends to turn brown.
So
It's like that little imperfect detail.
Yeah,
Why do you think that resonates so much?
because it's real.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect.
Mhm.
It's about sharing the actual outcome.
Yeah.
Even when it's a little disappointing,
Yeah.
it's like a reminder that it's okay for things to not be perfect.
Yeah, totally.
Where your kitchen fails.
Okay, so after dinner, they try to unplug.
Nice.
But they're battling between reading and the lure of Netflix.
The struggle is real.
And then their entertainment choice of the night,
Okay, Naomi.
a documentary about competitive snail racing.
Wait, what?
I know, right?
That's amazing.
It's so wonderfully quirky.
It is.
Huh.
What does that tell you?
It shows that we all have these different and sometimes weird ways to unwind.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder to not take our downtime too seriously.
Right.
And just embrace the things we enjoy, no matter how strange they might seem to other people.
Absolutely.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Okay, so finally we get to their nighttime routine,
Okay.
10 p.m. skincare,
Nice.
followed by a gratitude practice,
Love that.
They write down 3 things they're grateful for each day.
That's a good practice.
Have you ever done that?
I have.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Like focusing on gratitude can really change your whole outlook.
Totally.
It's a way of saying, hey,
Yeah.
even though today was tough, there were still good things.
Yeah.
And it shifts your focus to what you appreciate.
Have you tried it?
And their examples are so specific and down to earth.
What are they?
Sunshine,
That's love.
Spotify playlists,
Cool.
and avoiding coffee spills on their laptop.
Oh, yeah. I feel that.
It's not about big things. It's
Okay.
the little everyday things
Exactly.
that often make all the difference.
Yeah.
What are some of those little things you're grateful for?
It just shows that you can find gratitude everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
even in the most mundane things.
Yeah.
It's about training yourself to notice
Yeah.
and appreciate the small stuff.
I love that.
So what little things brighten your day?
Okay, so their overall reflection on the day is that days can be messy or magical,
Right.
but most are somewhere in between.
So true.
That's a pretty honest and balanced perspective on life, right?
I think so.
It's comforting to know that life isn't always a highlight reel
Totally.
and that it's normal to experience a whole range of emotions.
Yeah. Where do your days usually fall on that spectrum?
Yeah. Are you more messy or more magical? I'm curious.
Okay. And then their final thought
Mm-hmm.
is that life is really about showing up,
Okay.
finding joy in the chaos,
Yeah.
and appreciating those little victories.
Oh, I love that.
What a valuable takeaway.
I think this deep dive into one person's day, even though it's just one person,
Yeah.
it shows us so much about what it means to be human.
Right.
It makes you think about all those little moments of resilience
Yeah.
and those bursts of joy
Yeah.
that we might miss in our own busy lives.
So reflecting on this person's day, what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, what really resonated with your own experiences?
Was it the snooze button,
Maybe it was the need for constant snacks
the chatbot frustration?
or even the competitive snail racing.
I want to know about your daily routines.
Yeah, maybe even share some of your favorite or most chaotic moments.
If you found this exploration into the everyday insightful,
And you want to hear more deep dives into the world around us?
make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future discussions.
This deep dive reminds you. Yeah.
That even in the ordinary,
Mhm.
you can find beauty and meaning.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the effort you put in, day in and day out,
Yeah.
to navigate this crazy, beautiful mess of life.
So keep embracing that beautiful mess.
And remember, you're crushing it.
What seemingly mundane moment in your own day
Might have a deeper meaning.
or a hidden joy?
If you took a closer look,
Think about it.
let us know.
See you next time.